So this is episode 44 of Wearables Weekly. Welcome, and I'm Cecilia Beatty. I'm your host today, and I'm here surrounded by some of my co-hosts and our special guest. I'm going to introduce our co-hosts today. We have Aaron Kasten.
Hello.
We have Keith Acorn.
Hey, everyone.
And we have Livy Chang, as always.
Hi.
And we have our special guest today, which is Dan Baran. Also sometimes confused by Gerwin in events, apparently, but definitely Dan is a web designer by trade and is also a glass developer by hobby. He's done some nice little applications with glass, and he's also an organizer for his local GDG at Schaumburg, which is a suburb of Chicago where he lives. Dan, would you like to say hi to our audience?
What's up? Yeah. Hi.
And you're welcome to, we're going to start with our news, Dan, and then we'll have a section for you to be interviewed, but you're definitely welcome to participate at any time and let us know what you think. You're one more of us today, so welcome. And we're going to start with the news of the week, and there's a bunch of things on the wearables sphere that we'd like to talk to you about. You know that there was an official application for an Android Wear camera for the Android Wear. There was a camera that was launched by Google that would allow you to remotely just trigger a picture from your watch, and we were all kind of puzzled and thinking, how is it going to work if you don't have a viewer and a viewfinder there? And there it came. The unofficial Underwear camera remote with viewfinder functionality is out. Anybody had a chance to play with it?
I have
not yet, but I was very impressed by how quickly they came out with that.
That was fast, huh?
Develop, yeah.
Yeah, no, I haven't had a chance to play with it yet. I will tonight, though, that's for sure.
It's available in the Play Store. Sorry?
I think I took like one or two pictures. That was about it.
Did you see the viewfinder coming up? Did that make a difference?
Yeah, it was a little slow, but.
So how was the lag time?
Huh?
How bad was the lag?
I can show you. I have it installed.
Oh, that's awesome.
I'm pretty sure I still have it.
How do you launch it? I just sent it to my phone, but.
You had to start it somewhere on the.
I don't remember. I think it's its own camera. I installed it right when I read about it and played with it for like a minute and forgot about it.
So some of the details were that I guess it has about a half a second delay, which really isn't bad for this purpose of just like lining up a shot. It's actually pretty good. I know my GoPro, for example, has like a 30-second lag, so a half second is just fine. And it's in the Play Store now, so.
And the fact that it came out so fast really shows a very vibrant, committed community around Android Wear, which makes it all really hopeful that things are going to evolve very fast. We can already.
All right, here we go.
Here we go.
Let's see. So I'm moving.
That's pretty good.
That's not bad at all. Yeah,
it's not
that's
bad.
For the purpose, it seems like it should work.
Now, is this just a live viewfinder? Like, if you took a picture, could you then like see it for a few seconds? Like, if you had someone hold your camera for you, could you, see what it looks like before they walk back?
So you take the picture from the watch.
Mm-hmm.
If I wanted to take a picture.
Oh, perfect.
Yeah, works.
But
that works
it
very
goes
well.
right back to the viewfinder.
That really makes more sense that way. Yeah.
Yeah, that'd be great for like canning your picture or your camera over to somebody.
Yeah. Like here, will you hold this and then you're just secretly tapping? They don't even realize you're taking a picture.
That's true.
We're like, actually, could you step back like another foot or two? Like, I'd rather get into this shot.
Okay, that's good.
Yeah.
Put your wrist down and tap it.
So continue with that line of wearable news. We have Android Wear, news. We had multiple people jump at the unofficial making of watch faces. And very, very knowingly to our community, Daniel Ward made the awesome like binary watch face. But all of these was pretty much of a hack So apparently, one of the Android designers came out and asked developers to hold off a little bit on that. They're going to provide an API. It's just that, so they're not ready quite yet, and they'd rather people play with these things, give it to their community, to their beta friends, but not publish it on the Play Store because they know they're going to break, probably. They're not official.
Yeah. Good advice, but in the meantime, some of these watch faces have been pretty neat. So this is is this the Daniel Award one you're talking about?
Yeah.
That's
pretty neat. I've gotten a little bit better recognized in binary. If only like the notifications didn't cover it up some of the time.
Yeah,
Oh, that's true.
It should shift. Like just.
Yeah.
It should have a different mode, shifting.
This one I found today. It might be on the show notes somewhere else, but the
Oh, the Matrix. That's awesome.
That is very, busy.
yeah.
I really think it was poor planning on Google to not have the watch face out in time for the launch of Wear.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
think they originally thinking they weren't going to do it, and then realized that was a mistake.
And it seems like if they had launched these earlier, we would have better faces to start with at I/O. But because nobody was completely happy with the amount of faces that were provided.
Yeah, it's kind of amazing. I didn't see almost any good watch faces by default, but now that the people are creating them, there's some good ones. Actually, Libby and I are churning through the next generation right now, so you guys probably seen this one.
Yeah,
like
That's the
cards.
minimal
Fancy
one.
Oh no, well it's like the Star Trek.
Oh, the Star Trek.
Yeah, the Star Trek.
You can't really see the color that well on the camera, but trust me, it looks
It
exactly
doesn't
like
shift up either though. Like they're all hacked. I haven't installed any of them because they're hacky.
Yeah, it's a hack, and then they're asking, no, it's reasonable what they're asking, but it's also reasonable that you make something and you want everybody to use it, so
Yeah.
keep hacking, no problem.
I haven't seen any that like shift up and can handle a notification.
And
Do
it's
we need
brave
the
because
default?
they don't have that ability, really.
The defaults do, like the one I'm using. This is the only one I like that I've found so far.
So it looks more like they do have an API that they gave to the providers, but it's not ready for the public, maybe.
For Android Wear?
Yeah, for the
Yeah.
faces. Yeah.
Yeah. And I mean, it makes sense. I guess it's kind of, going back to glass is kind of like glass, where they kind of leave it to where it's possible that they may change it at the drop of a hat. Although Android Wear is more, I mean, it's already publicly released, so I'm a little surprised that they would try that.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Good. Moving on, the worlds of wearables and fashion keep kind of getting closer and closer. With, in this case, Fitbit is aligned with Tory Burch, who is a fashion designer here. I know nothing about fashion, but Libby assessed me that she makes. Can you tell it, Libby?
She makes handbags. I know she makes handbags, and I think she might make clothing. I'll be honest, I kind of cheated a little. Somebody at my work told me who she was. That's the only reason I know who she is. Yeah, she actually, some of the designs that she has are actually, I really like that necklace. I think that's really beautiful. And the bracelet, I like the idea of the bracelet. I don't know if I'd wear it. I don't know if I'd wear that one, but I like the idea that they're kind of moving in that direction.
Yeah, and it seems like now, what I like about it is that the whole industry is going to be pushing these smart wearables. Like, you're going to find these kind of jeweler wearable objects that are going to be promoted by the brands that are created and the different designers and brands. So that sounds interesting, as in making wearables more popular and more accepted, more expanded.
Yeah, and it hides them a little bit more too, so it's not so techy. It's a bit more stylish.
Yeah, that's true. I personally completely hate the idea of hiding tech. I actually would put screens on everything. I want things to have screens. If you're going to be truly smart, have a screen, because you can't replace digital. Digital can change so fast and can improve and evolve so fast. That's exactly what we're talking about, the watch faces. Like, the hope for Android Wear is that it's going to evolve so fast. And why? Because you have that digital screen that is going to be changing and evolving super quick.
Well, and one of the thoughts people have been expressing about Android Wear, since Google very specifically laid out what the UI for the device is going to look like, or for the OS is going to look like, they wanted maybe the manufacturer to diversify based on like the hardware design. So like to look like the Moto looks very different than the LG, which looks pretty much different than the Samsung. And if they could like expand on that, you can get a lot of interesting ideas.
Yeah, it seems like there's going to be for all tastes. And when you have this cross, I think it's awesome when you have the cross discipline, because people that come from design, they will bring a whole new perspective. They do seem to bring higher prices too. Like now you're talking about 195, 175 for a brass bracelet or a pendant or things like that. So it's going to come to a price, it seems too.
Yep.
Yeah, when the enclosure for your Fitbit costs twice as much as the Fitbit, it's probably a little.
Did they list the prices for the holders?
Yeah,
Yeah, they're in the show notes. One like the little silicone bracelet was $38, and the brass bracelet was $195, and the pendant was.
Oh, yikes! Okay, yeah, I guess that's not happening.
But there's definitely going to be a market for that. So.
Yeah, I agree. There definitely will be. I know I mean, there are people who would like to have the technology, but they really don't want it to be so prominent. Although $195 is a bit. I mean, the Fitbit's only $95.
Yeah, exactly. It's like you're adding a lot to be fashionable, and okay.
This wasn't implied by the article, but I'm hoping that maybe they can work together on like a deeper level, so maybe the design just gets made into Fitbit itself instead of having extra stuff you buy for your Fitbit.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Although that's, as an accessory, you're making more money if you sell the additional accessory, though, as opposed to just selling one thing.
Yeah, and you have the ability to change it. You have the ability to change it more, and some people are very interested on having different earrings every day of the week. So that's going to be definitely something appealing for certain.
Yeah, I could definitely see that. I mean, there is going to be an appeal to a market. I think it's just probably not here. Probably not within this panel.
Yeah.
Although I do like the brass, I do like the necklace. I think it looks really smart. I don't think I'd pay $175 for it, but
who knows?
definitely on the right track.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Cool. Awesome. So there's this keyboard that was first designed for Google Glass. It's called Minum, I think. Did I say that right?
Minium? That's how
Minium.
Minium.
And Minium now makes the equivalent in Android Wear of a keyboard. And so what do you guys think of that keyboard? It's like, it's creative. It's an interesting way of doing it.
I think there's, again, I really like just talking into my watch. I think that there's something very satisfying about the Inspector Gadget feel. So it's probably not for me, but I think there are some people who do still like the
Don't you find, though, leave it the
think
option where you can speak out what you're going to say because it's private?
Well, in that case, I would just reach for my phone.
Yeah.
I think there needs to be an alternative way to input into devices besides talking, and
Right.
Mm-hmm.
but I don't think Minium is it.
No.
I think you're not going to do any like long form typing, so you don't really need a keyboard on this. And so when predictive text gets so good that it can, kind of guess at what I'm going to say, and I can just pick phrases or words, and then it's guessing, and there's just a few like 3 to 4 words, maybe a sentence. That's all you really are going to use it for the most part. I would think.
I think it's a valiant effort to get a watch or to get a keyboard onto a watch face this small. I mean, it's incredible they could do it, but you can see how hard the autocorrect was working. I mean, it's so difficult for it to interpret what you're doing. I think in practice it would be almost impossible to use this.
So,
Yeah.
Try my fat fingers on that thing.
No, forget it.
No, it's not gonna work. Mine.
I think it's a good conversation to have, though.
Yeah, I agree with you where there needs to be a way to input, and minimum's not the way.
Right.
It's for somebody out there. I will say that. I think some people will use it. It's probably not going to hit a mass market, but some people will use it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And like Libby said earlier, I think right now really the phone is the best. If you're gonna be doing like actual text input, probably stick with your phone and then just use the watch for the things that the watch is good for.
Yeah, I think there's been a big discussion about that these weeks on Google Plus, talking like, hey, don't develop the same thing you would do in your phone in Wear. This Wear is a different device, develop for that, do what makes sense, don't do everything you would do on a cell phone. And I kind of agree with that to a point. There's certain things, though, where it's very rigid, like how to launch things. And I think it's up a little ahead on our discussion. Something like the mini launchpad, for instance, and I think it was brought up by our community, and it's something that I really appreciated. So there's a mix. It's like some things seem like they're going to be a big no-no, but sometimes in practicality you might want them. So balance, I guess.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind like canned responses even. So like you have if it has a reply option, then there's a set of canned responses that you can set that are available if an app has a reply functionality or some kind of.
I know
That'd be really good.
It does that for your phone already. So if it's vibrating on your watch and you hit answer, you could send a text that says, "I'll call you back later." I've used before.
But that's what I'm saying. Like, incorporate something like that into all that, into any app, or make it extensible or something.
Right. So whenever you get a notification, just be like, "I'll talk to you later."
Yeah.
Something like that. Yeah.
Sounds like a good
That
option.
would make sense. Yeah, that would make a lot of sense for Android Wear. Although it seems like it could be interpreted as a bot very quickly.
I mean, if you're doing a lot of, you're probably not going to do a lot of chatting using it. I don't know, maybe.
Yeah, but like you're saying, for like a Google Voice app or something like that, if you just swiped over, right now all the swipe over buttons seem to just be one button for the tapping on the screen, but if you could just have 3 things, I think that would be sufficient.
It would be great if you could set them yourself, too.
Yeah, you need to be able to set them yourself.
Yeah.
Definitely.
So instead of having just say, "I'll call you later" or something, have
And then you can have a
something
bunch
more.
of them. You could swipe down through your canned responses, select one, and then bam, you're done.
Mm-hmm.
It's got to be quicker than pulling out your phone and typing.
That's
For me,
true.
usually, I find that my canned responses, I have to go through them, and I never find the one I want, and it never worked for me in cell phones. But I imagine that, it might be more practical.
Maybe one of our clever listeners can build it.
Maybe
Yeah.
WinkFeed could build it.
No,
Yep.
probably not. Don't count on it.
So Dan, are you looking to get into Android Wear development?
I like the idea, just don't have the knowledge.
It's all about learning in the end, because we are all newbies all the time, because there's always new things coming up every day. So we're all newbies. We have to learn new stuff. That's the world we live in.
At the time recently, I've been working on Dart and Polymer. And
Oh, those are fun too.
exactly. I got my own things. Don't worry, Cecilia.
You're covered. You're good. Awesome. Yeah. And also talking about Android Wear, like I was impressed with a little application done by Virginia Poltrak and Jonah Poltrak. They've done these little cookie sets on Wear. So they were learning, obviously, and at the same time they built something, because that's the best way to learn. And they built this fun little game that is like it's basically Simon Says, but done for Wear, and it's Cookie Says. You guys try that?
No.
It
Is
was
it
a
on the
fun
store?
little game. It's on the store, actually, yeah.
Oh, check it
It's
out.
built by Fat Russell, their company, in memory of their dog. They're awesome people, so I
Why
thought it
wasn't
was
it Stewart Says?
Huh?
Why wasn't it Stewart Says?
That's right. I think, someone with a physical appearance in the name of Skookie, their little dog, took over Stuart. But you're right. Could have been Stuart Says.
Suki was getting jealous.
Yeah. I think he needed to regain his place, and so that's a little game that I know my girls would appreciate, like starting to have games. And there's also been like a Flappy Bird kind of app on Wear. Obviously, it had to happen. So
That would be tough, playing Flappy Birds like that. Ooh.
yeah.
That'd be
but
interesting.
It's out there.
A hint for anybody looking for Sookie Says on the Play Store, it's Sookie, not Snooky. You're going to get a lot of not great results if you look for Snooky.
I thought it was Cookie, but it's not. It's
Oh, it's Sookie. So Sookie is, I think, a character from True Blood, which I also don't watch. But yeah, so Sookie is a character from True Blood.
Huh, there you go. Yeah, I don't watch serious TV. I have prohibited any TV series because they're too addictive for me. So moving on with the news, there seems to have been some movement in the Glass team, and the father of Glass and the Project X, Babak Parvez, is heading now to Amazon. He announced this week that he's moving on to Amazon. And before moving, he kind of dropped a huge bomb saying that we're probably 15 years away from seeing face computers take off. That was a big bomb, wasn't it?
It was. It's sad, but I kind of see where he's coming from. I mean, socially, it is. I understand where he's coming from. I don't necessarily agree with him. I will say that. I feel like there is a market for it, and there is going to be a necessity for it. Maybe not in mainstream, but I feel like it would be faster than 15 years.
What really scares you is that he's inside the team, so he knows how far away they really are. And I believe that really coincides with the feeling I had before when they launched the UK Explorer program. Well, it seems like they're going to keep launching Explorer programs all around the planet, but we're farther away from a real consumer release.
Right.
And if I reread sort of what he's saying, I really don't think it's as much of a technical challenge, like they don't have the parts or know how to do the software. I think he's probably talking more about cultural acceptance.
Adoption and
like because we can walk around and it works well enough. Like we know what we're getting, but I think
but there's not enough
when he's
value.
saying that it'll be normal, like that people will just expect it.
I think there's not enough value on Glass today for a regular consumer to pay the price that they're asking, and they know, somehow I feel like they keep that price high because they know they're not ready for the market, and the market is not ready for them, which was your point, Keith.
Yeah. Although that being said, supposedly in 2015, the consumer version is finally going to come out, which is about, 2 years? From the original target date? I thought the original target date was this past Christmas.
No, I think it was this year.
Summer.
It was 2014, right?
Oh, I've heard several. I remember Larry Page back in 2013 announced Christmas, and then later on the rumor was summer of 2014, and now it sounds like beginning of the year. Yeah.
So one interesting thing about Babak, so like in addition to Glass, he also was, I believe, the guy that either came up with the idea or was championing the idea of those smart contact lenses, the ones that can measure glucose reading for people that are diabetic or maybe do some other stuff. So I almost wonder if, like, what this might mean for Amazon, because they're going after somebody that's clearly looking at like longer time frame projects, more conceptual projects, and specifically with focus on the face. So I don't know if they've got any thoughts in that regard, but at least they wanted him for something.
You know, Amazon has their fingers in everything, and I think Jeff Bezos, that he's clearly trying to branch out into different fields. So it wouldn't surprise me if they kind of gave him a blank slate, maybe, or just a blank check to do with what he wants. That would not surprise me at all.
Yeah, that would be a good reason to leave. In addition, so they had to have enticed him with a very good reason, and I imagine that it could be something different too, because I think the whole core of Babak and his expertise is more broad, really, and it could be something else completely different. Who knows?
I think it could be a good fit, to be honest. I mean, Amazon has continuously surprised me for the past 10 years at least with the things that they've innovated, and I mean, I am very interested to see what he comes up with.
It's hard to believe it wasn't that long ago that there used to be a primarily a bookseller.
Yeah, I
They
know.
do so much, and hopefully they're getting into the moonshot business now. So we'll see.
And especially because like the last feature that they launched on their Fire cell phone, it's about recognizing everything out there. So that goes very well with having a device in your face or a contact lens or anything like that. It really goes well.
Yeah. I'm excited to see that come out as well.
Yep, yeah. And actually, now that you mentioned his contact lens for the glucose levels measuring and detection, Google has partnered with Novartis for those smart contacts to keep moving. So that's still going to happen on Google's part.
Yeah, it's big. Now I recognize the name Novartis, but I'm not really sure what they do. Are they like a manufacturer or like a healthcare specialist, or like what do they do?
I
Like,
don't really know. They simply, yeah, they're new to
we're all
me
too
as
healthy.
well.
We don't. Yeah, so at least that article was talking about like they were going to be manufacturing small parts. I'm not sure exactly how small. It sounds like they've got to get these electronics on the contact lens itself, so that's pretty impressive.
Mm-hmm. And their dream, they say, is to use the latest technology in the miniaturization of electronics to help improve the quality of life for millions of people, specifically with their eyesight, it seems, but maybe their diabetes too and other things. Cool. So what else is on the news? So nothing very new regarding Google and Samsung still kind of butt-heading and arguing and fighting apparently over smartwatches and who copied who, and Larry Page not being very happy with Samsung's pushing Tizen and also copying some of the look on their Android applications.
Yeah, Samsung makes some really nice hardware. I really have to give them that. It's unfortunate that they're pushing the Tizen platform because I don't think there are many Tizen developers out there. And I don't think there's enough people who wear smartwatches to really create a market where it's worth it to jump to the Tizen platform. Yeah, it's kind of unfortunate.
Today submitted an application for a Tizen contest, for instance, for the Gear 2, and they're giving like more than $1 million in prizes. So they're really committed to that platform still, and I imagine it's an uncomfortable situation for Google where you're with me, but you're also doing your own thing and competing with me, and it's.
I feel like it's definitely a case that Samsung wants Tizen to be their dominant platform. They want it to be a real contender, and that Wear is sort of their backup plan in case that doesn't work out.
Yeah.
Which is why it looks a lot like the Gear 2, except without the camera, I guess.
Well, what's funny is they lost a lot of features. When they went from the Gear 2 to the Tizen, they lost the ability to catch a call and answer it from here and here. Like this has a speaker, and it has a microphone. It's really good. And on the Live Watch, it can talk to you. So that's a huge feature that somehow they dropped when they went to Tizen. They seem to have dropped a lot of features that they had already built in. So Tizen was advanced enough that I choose to wear Tizen today versus Android Wear. And that should give you an idea.
It kind of reminds me of the Apple-Google relationship back in, I think it was 2011, when Google was finally starting to kind of branch out and do their own thing a little bit, and Apple was very unhappy about that. Yeah, it really reminds me a lot of that, except now Google's kind of in Apple's position, in my opinion.
Isn't that weird? Yeah. The world goes around, and in the end, nobody likes competition or things when they're done to them. It's easier to do it than to get it done to you, right? So
right.
It seems like normal business practices, Samsung has to find whatever is best for them, and I think they're not going to be successful anyways with the Tizen platform. And it seems like Android Wear is going to evolve so much faster because the developers embrace it, the developers love it, and it is a big force.
Yeah, Android Wear is just, it's easy. It's so easy to use.
Well, no, but even Tizen is easier. For me, Tizen was easier to use than Android Wear.
Oh, really?
The
Okay.
biggest problem is going to be all of the services, though. People are so tied into Google for chatting, for email, for everything else.
Mm-hmm.
I know Samsung has all of their equivalents, like they have this chat on application, they have like their own maps thing and whatever, but it's hard for one company to build up a platform as substantial as what Google already has. So until they can make a credible play at the full services, it's going to be really hard to move over to Tizen, I think.
So in a way, it's like they're trying to do the same as Windows is trying to do. They're trying to break into the platform thing where there's already two very clear winners, and developers don't have attention to more platforms. So they're going to concentrate on the platforms at hand. So I think it's very uphill for Samsung, really.
Yeah,
Yep.
I kind of agree. Especially with the Tizen phone not even being in the U.S. I mean, the only thing you can develop for would be the watch.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. True. So we're doing a new section that is coming from our community, straight from the Wearables Weekly community. We got a few comments that I would like to kind of go over. Who would like to go over those? Anybody? Any of the hosts would like to cover from the community section today?
All right, I'll take the first one. So we had a post by Karen Upal, I hope I'm pronouncing that right, and this was about an input device, so sort of keyboard that's not really a keyboard. It's something that I guess you can strap onto your hands. Let me see if I can share my screen here, but it's in a sense, it's like something wraps around your palms and reads your finger movements, so that if you're at a surface or even in the air and you're just mimicking typing, you can actually get some input that way. And things like this have been around before. Like I remember some time ago there was a project where it would project like a laser keyboard onto a surface and you would pretend to type. But it's another option for getting feedback, I guess.
It doesn't seem like we find the perfect solution for a keyboard outside of a display touchscreen soft keyboard. But
Yeah.
we're going to keep trying, I guess.
Yeah, and just for a little context, this is what it kind of looked like. So, I mean, I don't imagine many people are going to walk around all day with this on their hands, but they can maybe miniaturize it to the size of, I don't know, a ring or something like that, or maybe something you wore. Oh, you know what? If it could somehow read that from a watch, like if your smartwatch also had a little camera tracking your fingers, maybe that would work too.
That would be like reducing your Mayo all the way to the wrist.
Right, except this one is, instead of the Mayo, like actually detects like your nerves. Like,
Yeah.
Your muscle movement. Mm-hmm.
but this is like optically looking at your fingers, I think.
Oh, okay.
I mean, it's small enough to throw in a bag, so you could technically just throw the I guess you call them cuffs, or the band. You could technically just throw it in your bag,
So just
or with your carrying case. Yeah.
It doesn't sound appealing. It sounds interesting and creative, but it doesn't sound really appealing in a practical way.
And it also doesn't sound like it's done yet. So I don't. Who knows if they'll actually be successful at making it? But at least it's a neat idea.
That's a new idea.
You want to grab the next one? Actually, this one was kind of neat.
Android Wear gets its first mini launcher. I haven't looked at this yet. I've been meaning to, though.
I have it.
See, I can try this person's name, Vishal Tashiwai. Sounds Japanese, maybe. Yeah, so the story here was, and I guess this is also in the App Store, there's a mini launcher for Android Wear. So you can launch apps. Let me see if I can share this one real quick.
It's really nice. Something like this. So you just swipe on the top, right there, and you have a whole new functionality. I don't know if you can see it.
Yep.
But it shows all the little icons, and I really love it. I mean, of course, when you start having too many, it's going to be a pain. But for now, I mean, to me, it's much better than going to the start, going down, because now you're not going to talk, you're going to do the touch,
Start's
and then
annoying.
finally.
That start is annoying, I agree. I was just agreeing with you, sorry. Didn't mean to interrupt.
No,
So
no.
what kind of apps is it launching? Is it the stock apps, or are you sideloading apps?
All your Wear apps, so the same apps. So the apps are the same that you would see on the start, but you should see them up there. Sorry, I couldn't. I hate this thing I have laterality problems, so for me, right or left, it get mixed up. So like glass is very easy because it's top bottom, but this is so hard. But if you go up here, you just launch it. Well, maybe. There it is. Yeah.
Cool.
And these are very hard to demonstrate. I don't know if you guys find the same, but every demo I see of Android Wear, they go really wrong. Like, it goes to sleep and you're trying to show something and you're not seeing it and you're showing it and they're a mess.
I'm glad somebody made a launcher for that. I freaking hate that start thing with a passion.
Well, you know the trick for launching an app if you want. You can what is it? If you get the voice notification thing to pop up, you can say go gadget whatever. It'll actually.
Yeah, I know. And actually, you can launch phone or apps on your phone with the go gadget thing.
Oh yeah, nice.
Like I launched NBA Jam on my phone from my watch by using go gadget.
That's nice.
Oh, you're saying when you say it to your phone, it launches on your watch, not on your phone?
Like pick an app on your phone and do go gadget and then name that app. It will open the app on your phone.
Gotcha. Cool.
I did a little video if you go through my post at some point. There's a lot of complaining about T-Mobile recently. We won't get into that.
That's really sad because I'm thinking of changing to T-Mobile by the end of the year.
We'll talk
we
about it.
go down to visit you at the studio.
Yeah,
You can see what the reception is going to be like.
Oh my God, no. Okay. There's one more community comment that we wanted to talk about, and it's the sleepable device. Anybody? What is this?
Okay, nobody else wants to jump in. So this is a device by Misfit Wearable. It's called the Bedit, and I guess it's a device that partially it sits on top of your mattress under your sheets, and can do some analysis of how well you're sleeping. It's not really a wearable device, so it probably doesn't properly belong, but it's it's from Misfit, and it kind of does some of the sleep tracking stuff that other wearables do. So I guess
you have to lay on that.
So no, not the box. There's this very thin rolled out piece that slips under your sheet. Supposedly you won't feel it.
I should actually click the link.
It's totally overkill because you can get a decent sleep tracking with your smartwatch. And
Yeah.
I'm waiting for someone to please build this on Android Wear because that's one of the things it's lacking.
Well, but the only problem with that is that's the only time I can charge Android Wear is when I'm sleeping.
I charge it during the day, so I already got into a routine where it's much easier to do with a watch that has more battery. Like the Android Gear, the Gear 2 has more like 2.5 days, so it's easier. You're gonna find in 2.5 days you're gonna be in a desk and you can charge for half an hour.
I'm sorry, you say you get 2.5 days of battery life on?
On the Gear 2 you do. On the Gear Live you don't. You barely get a day and a half.
So this is what the device looks like when it's slipped under. I guess there's a box part that listens to ambient noise and snoring noise and can kind of look at some stuff like that. But yeah, it's an interesting idea. Somehow it also is supposed to get heart rate, which would be impressive considering it's not actually touching you or anything. And based on some of its feedback, it can reset your alarm if it thinks it'd be better to wake you up a little earlier or later based on your sleep schedule. So it's something.
Okay, overkill. So, what's next?
I think
Doing lighting. You think we have time for lighting round, or
No, let's talk to Dan.
let's talk to Dan? Yeah, I agree.
Talk to Dan.
Uh-oh, we're talking to me now?
Yes.
We are. Yes.
Again?
So Dan.
not if I jump in at once. So Dan, you run a GDG in Schaumburg, is that right?
I do. We're actually... So, I've gotten pissed off because there's no Explorer events around here, ever. Not necessarily officially Google. And yes, I have gotten mad about that because Chicago is just the bastard child, I feel, sometimes of technology that just gets thrown aside. But, so, since the SOGI here is pretty much non-existent, so being the GDG, I've kind of decided it's time to step it up and do something. So I'm having a barbecue / picnic type thing
Nice. Very cool.
next weekend. Hopefully people show up. So far, based on it's like $5 plus processing fee on Eventbrite. So cheap. I just want to cover my permit cost and the food, and we're all good.
Does this barbecue have a certain sort of a theme or a certain target audience?
The target audience is developers, glass explorers, tech enthusiasts, just, you know. Like, one thing I noticed with my GDG is we don't get a lot of people showing up in July because it's nice out finally.
Mm-hmm.
So I decided forget doing the tech talks and let's go outside and enjoy the weather. So I didn't even think that I feel almost like I'm stealing from you, Aaron, without meaning.
Why?
I totally didn't mean to.
You shouldn't feel that way.
Okay.
Let's clear up. So what were your applications that you did build for Glass then?
I worked on one called Campaign Insight, which has nothing to do with political stuff. And I used to work in a manufacturing company, and I did all their email marketing, all their web stuff, and so I built an application so that I could essentially wear glass at work, so that I'd get my reports for the email marketing up on my glass when I wanted it in a meeting. Unfortunately, the day I finally finished it up, they released the design guidelines, and I haven't learned enough GDK stuff to make it launch the correct way yet. So, and I haven't had time to get back on that. But that's really what I've worked on there, which isn't a whole heck of a lot. But
That's your experiment.
yeah, that's my experiment, I guess.
It's funny. I think you're the first person I know that actually made money on Glass. Like back mid last year, you had developed some app and sold it. And...
Same app. I got funding on that thing. They're like, it's a cool idea. Here's some money. I'm like, okay.
Awesome.
Nice.
I just got to get back on that one. I really want to get that live at some point. And then talking to Jenny, who's no longer with us.
Yeah, we kind of wanted to mention that, and then we slipped. But definitely, Jenny will be missed.
Jenny will be sorely missed, yes.
Yeah.
Yes, but she is moving on to Firebase, which I think, there's some really great opportunities with that startup.
Yeah, all of a sudden, at least we're interested on Firebase now because Jenny will be there. So
Exactly.
If it was good enough for Jenny, it's good enough for us. So.
Yeah.
Firebase is what you need for your Nest stuff.
For your what?
Yeah.
Nest?
Dan has a very sharp eye. He's noticed we have a little new item back here. I don't know if you can see
A little bit to the left there. Keep you almost there.
I'm trying to do the mirrored thing here, but yeah. So we used a solid Nest last weekend, so it's been fun.
Nice.
No, the Nest API uses Firebase.
Okay.
So you'll start learning it, I'm sure. I tried learning it before Nest jumped on board there, actually.
I know Libby was playing around with the if this then that for some of the triggers you can have with Nest.
Yeah, I think there might have been another person from the Glass team that left a while ago and went to Firebase. Like months ago. So this wouldn't be the first person.
Interesting. Huh.
Let me try. I'm going to figure out the name while we continue to talk here.
Well, Jenny will be missed, but we do wish her the best of luck.
Definitely.
So shall we move on to events? I know Dan's already talked about his. Should we talk about the Big Android Barbecue?
Well, I guess real quick, as long as we're on Dan's, what's the link to get the ticket or find out more about where it's going to be?
So it's going to be, if you live in the Chicagoland area, It's going to be at Bussy Woods, which is over by Woodfield Mall. It's a gigantic forest preserve. I've got a shelter, so if it rains or something, we got something to be under. But I think you can buy tickets right up until. I'd prefer people bought them sooner, so I actually know how much food to buy.
Yeah.
Otherwise, show up, give me cash, and I'll find some way to make someone go run and grab food. So,
and this is going to be in Schaumburg, or?
It's right in the Schaumburg area. The Forest Preserve is like on the border of 3 different suburbs. So, I don't know exactly what suburb that is particularly in the shelter I have. If you want to sign up for it, bit.ly/GDG picnic.
Oh, good. And I'm going to put a link in the show notes too. So let's see. And it's on Saturday, July 26th, 11 to 3.
Yep. And if you go onto the Glass community page, it's on there as well as one of the events. So I've been working with Becca on trying to promote it.
Cool.
So it's going to be themed on glass and wearables, or what was your theme again?
There's really no theme. It's more just kind of fun, be social.
Meet and greet and kind of thing.
Have a fun time.
Geek out with all of your fellow developers.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Nice.
Since really the Chicago Explorers there's maybe been 2 times where Explorers have tried to get together. In the whole year and however many months I've owned Glass now.
You better do it, now in the summer. Don't wait till the winter.
Yeah, exactly. No one wants to go out in the winter.
Good. And okay, thank you, Dan. Thank you for all your information that you gave us and everything. We're gonna move on to other events, and we have Aaron talking to us about the big barbecue coming up in October.
Oh, not much has changed in the last week. It's the 16th, 17th, and 18th. Just a pool party on the Thursday night. Friday, we've got sessions all day. We're selecting our speakers here. Well, I was kind of supposed to do that today, but I didn't. So tomorrow and next week, we'll be selecting and announcing speakers.
Good.
Yeah, we got a couple of sponsors officially signed on, Cyanogen and the Wireless Industry Partnership, WIP. So they're on board. And yeah, that's all the new news.
Sounds so cool. That sounds awesome.
Get your tickets, bigandroidbbq.com.
So you think having your little appetizer here in San Francisco a couple weeks ago is going to bring any more folks out from IO?
I hope so. I hope we get more people. I mean, I haven't noticed a big jump in registrations right around the events, but
probably closer to the event you'll have more.
Yeah, we're still accepting speaker submissions, so
You have to do that. That's
developers are a procrastinating bunch, so it's okay.
Please do it.
Horrible procrastination, yeah.
Yeah, that's all I got.
Awesome, thank you. Thank you for keeping us updated on the big barbecue. We follow that event very closely. And Keith has been following also closely the Oculus conference, the Oculus Connect, that is going to happen in LA in September. And they actually finally did open registration, right, Keith?
Yeah, I found out today. I guess it opened up yesterday, so it's pretty interesting. You have part of the registration asks for what have you done, what are you gonna do. So they kind of want to encourage people to have an idea, not just come for fun, but or at least have fun in a productive way. Yeah. But,
they seem to be giving priority to developers, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So, but I'll definitely put in a proposal and see what happens. And I'm hoping you have something good in mind, Cecilia.
Yeah. I registered too, so I'm hoping to get there and be able to report from there for Wearables Weekly also.
Cool.
Yeah. And I don't know what this Modev is doing. It's something about there's an event coming on Washington D.C. and happening. I don't know much about it, so I'm gonna skip that one for today and let Nobel talk about it next time. And there's also the Watch conference. We also talked about it before, but it's kind of talking about the future of wearable for in the tech and healthcare industry. And it's interesting because that's going to nucleate everybody that is in the tech industry, in the health industry for glass and wearables. Glass is like huge part of the conference. Doctors and medical industry is still one of the main industry that is going to be pushing glass and accepting and adopting glass most. So I find it very interesting. I'm going to be speaking briefly about education on glass for healthcare. So.
Awesome.
I don't know if anybody has anything else before we get to a wrap.
So Libby and I are going to be missing next week, but we're going to be having an awesome time down in San Diego, so I hope you guys have fun without us.
You guys are going to be at Comic-Con?
We're going to Comic-Con, yeah.
That's awesome.
Getting the costumes ready as we speak.
Are you going to use costumes? No.
I'm going to go as Libby Chang from Wearables Weekly.
That's where that procrastination thing I mentioned comes in.
Yes. So there's ideas, but they will never happen, kind of thing.
Yeah, and big thank you to Justin Chung for helping us to arrange all this. So very cool.
Cool. I think Nobel is watching us and is saying something about wearables and thing, and he's going to be on the board of advisor of a Modev conference in DC. But he definitely have to update us more when he's back with Sparrow, because we want to see little Sparrow in the screen, right?
Yes.
So we all sent her a huge hi from here.
Oh, FYI, Sparrow has not been posting enough.
No, we need more pictures. That's true. One of the first babies with a Google Plus account, so we're watching what's happening
and surprisingly articulate for her age.
Yes.
Yes.
True. Digital babies. Anyways, okay, I guess that's all for today. So we'll see you next week, next Thursday at 7 p.m. in our next chapter.
Bye, guys.
Bye-bye.